we're all different.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways, and it is easy to get caught up in the differences. But we say it a lot in the rooms, and I'm a fellowship guy, right? I'm a 12-step big book person.
Yes, you are.
I'm thrilled to be involved with Intervention on Call.
I love it.
And it's something that, if with 40 million people out there struggling with addiction, and let's just say they all got at least one or two people that love them, that leaves us in a position of the onus is on us to take our message on a grander scale.
Sometimes I make mistakes in my life. Life goes on and on and on and on and on. Yeah, hey, I got wisdom from my papa. He ain't have a lot of money, but he taught me how to keep the perfect posture. So folding under pressure, that ain't something that I'm about to. Crabs in the barrel, I'm just trying to be a lobster. I hit my cousin, told him to call. It's been 12 years and I ain't heard from him at all. Had a little fallout over some money. Damn, ain't it funny how the smartest people be beefing like they some dummies? But I hope you doing swell now. Hope your family well now.
The Primary Purpose with Pej podcast is sponsored by Intervention on Call. Intervention on Call is your go-to resource for families suffering from addiction. Offering on-demand access to experienced interventionists, we provide private hourly sessions, guidance on next steps, and ongoing family support, helping you make informed decisions when timing and clarity matter most. For more information or to book an appointment, go to www.interventiononcall.com. Today on Primary Purpose with Pej, we sit down with Carlton Norwood, a recovery advocate whose life story is defined by resilience, responsibility, and a calling to help families find their way back from chaos. Carlton's journey includes years of substance use and self-destructive behavior that placed his life and his relationships at serious risk. After reaching a moment of undeniable clarity, he committed to make a drastic and meaningful change, one that rebuilt his life and reshaped his purpose. For nearly 30 years as a financial advisor, Carlton guided hundreds of families through uncertainty and hardship, helping them find clarity and peace in moments that demanded sound judgment and calm leadership. Combined with raising 4 successful children that experienced solidified a belief that family can recover when structure, boundaries, and support are put in place. As an Augusta, Georgia native, Carlton is deeply rooted in family and community. Today, he dedicates his work to helping families create environments where boundaries are respected, accountability is possible, and loved ones can finally access the help they need. This conversation is about calling recovery and how small, intentional steps can restore families and save lives. Please welcome to the show, Carlton Norwood. Welcome to the show.
Hey, Pej.
Nice to see you, Carlton.
How are you?
I'm good, man.
All right.
I want to hear all about you. Who are you?
Well, I appreciate that. I'm Carlton Norwood from Augusta, Georgia. I'm a interventionist and one of the providers on the platform we belong to, Intervention on Call. Let me start by saying, gosh, man, what an honor to be over here in Southern California from the complete other side of the country. And I tell you, our day-to-day has been awesome, and I appreciate you letting me sit down with you and talk a little bit about recovery.
I've been wanting to have you. I was supposed to interview you a while back when I was in Virginia.
That's right.
It just didn't take place, but you're one of my heroes.
Well, likewise.
Oh, man. So tell me, where'd you grow up? In Georgia?
In Augusta, Georgia. Been there my whole life.
Entire life?
And absolutely come from a traditional family. Good folks. And, I just like to say that, I mean, this thing, addiction, there's no discriminating. Look at the two of us. We come from polar opposite sides of the world and raised in different atmospheres. And
I told Sam Davis the same thing. Me, L.A., him, Virginia, and both of us smoking crack.
That's it.
It's about around the same age, too.
The crack missed me, but I didn't miss many of those drugs. I was addicted to more other than heroin.
Yeah.
So I tell you. So anyway, I grew up in a real traditional family, tight-knit.
Yeah.
Father was a dentist. Mother was an entrepreneur. And, I can't really attach one thing that's got to do with my addiction to how I grew up. I had an older brother. And, back when I was growing up, drinking age was 18. So my brother turned 18 and I turned 15, and we were off to the races. So,
Oh, man.
yep. So,
Straight drinking right out the gate?
well, straight drinking in the beginning. Until I got out of high school, that's all I did was drink. Started using drugs.
Like what?
Like I started marijuana
Okay.
when I started college, and it moved to some cocaine.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah. So,
yeah, classy guy.
I had the real opportunity to get sober as a young man. So I got sober at 22 in 1989.
Oh, so you had been sober before in your life?
Absolutely.
22?
Yep.
Why? Why did you get sober that young?
I tell you what, I had a friend who got locked up for DUI. And his parents sent him to a treatment facility, and he came back sober. And I figured if he needed to get sober, so I did too. So I contributed to it being a God thing. I don't know why I did. I stayed sober 8 years.
You did?
I did.
But was it just dry?
No, I went to AA.
You were in the program?
Was in the program in 1989 with the smoke-filled rooms.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, back then we could smoke in the rooms.
Yeah, that's right. And and I stayed in for 2 years of it, and started my career in the financial world, and had made it, finished college in a year and a half, and I'd made it. So figured I was smarter than those men that were smoking in those rooms, and got out of AA and didn't go back.
Was there, at that time, being 22, was there a young movement in AA at all, or in the recovery?
I tell you, I was one of the youngest people there, obviously, and
things done changed since then.
Oh, a lot.
I
sponsor a lot of young guys today.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, they didn't really understand why I was there, and I guess I tried to convince them that if they'd done a little drugs, they might have got here a little earlier, right? So they didn't really take too kindly to that, but I learned a lot from them, and was able to stay sober another 6 years after that. But you know what happens, right?
Tell me what happened.
You don't have a program. You don't have that fellowship. You don't have a sponsor, and so when the first life event hit me in my life, which was I had 2 kids by then, and was getting a divorce over not being able. I had gotten a real huge job offer in Kentucky to be a general agent of a financial firm, and my wife wouldn't move, and so that split us up, and I just didn't have any coping skills or defense against getting back to drinking. So suddenly, thought crossed my mind.
There we go.
And here we go. Right?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I wasn't one of those. I probably would qualify as one of those people that think that I'm active in addiction, but really functional. Functional alcoholic drug addict.
Yeah.
Because I had businesses, raised a family, had 4 kids, got remarried, etc.
4 kids?
4 kids.
Okay.
Yeah. And they're all grown today and successful. Maybe one of my real success stories is those 4 kids being out there today and being functional and active members of society.
So you went back out, and then what brought you back in? Or how long were you out for?
20 years.
20 years?
Yeah.
And was it bad? Was it active?
That's what I mean. It was not a straight line trajectory to going right back at it. What happened to me is I would have information coming to me that alcohol and drugs were showing up in a negative way in my life.
Yeah.
Such as one of those divine ultimate interventions, I like to call it, DUI.
Oh, you got one of them.
So I had multiple of those, right?
When we say multiple, how many are we talking?
Well, I had 2 before I got out of juvenile court.
Yes.
And then I had 2 as an adult.
Oof.
So
that's not good.
That's not good. No. That's not good. So, and actually in 1998, I got real lucky, and it could have changed the trajectory of my life. That I got a DUI, and I had some methamphetamines in my ashtray, and
see how my ears perked up.
Didn't get caught with it, right?
No way.
Skimmed out of that too, and maybe one of the stories of my life is things being spread out far enough that I didn't really have the consequences that were tough enough to really make me change. So. The last thing I wanted to do was stop drinking and drugging.
Yeah.
even though I was running a successful financial practice and raising kids and
Doing well for yourself.
doing well financially, but internally, alcohol and drugs continue just to show up in a negative way in my life. So, God has a way of intervening on us if we don't have outside sources that intervene on us. And ended up getting into some significant trouble with, that carried some significant time to it. And got in a...
Like you were looking at hard prison time?
I was. A guy beating up on a girl, and I stepped in and hurt the guy and walked away from it, didn't call the law. So he called the law. So they got me. And when I got there, I said, I need my attorney. And they said, that's fine. We're going to lock you up for this. So my family was in politics and front page of the newspaper, embarrassed my family.
Oh.
It was just all over the news outlets,
Wow.
and things that wouldn't be there if I wasn't, involved in the family that I'm involved with, which I love greatly. But I'm just saying that it took me down through there, and my addiction went haywire after that because, guess what? You can't be in the financial practice world with pending felony charges, right?
That's what we frowned on.
So they paused all that for me, and really had no way to make a living, and it just turned really dark for me from there, and it was.
How old were you at that time?
49.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was a road, and so I guess in hindsight, I'm really glad that those things happened.
They needed to happen.
It did. It did.
No, nothing would have changed.
It wouldn't have. And
you might not have even survived.
That's right. And I spent
or you'd be locked up for a long ass time, like drinking Pruno in jail.
Well, at my age, I'm telling you, 25 years is a death sentence.
That is a long time.
Yeah.
It's long even if you were young.
Yeah, no matter what.
That's half your life. Well, not half, but still.
So,
depending on how long you live.
That's right. So, in my addiction, and you hear it all the time. I hear it all the time. It starts with that Adderall. And I went to the speed. And so back in the day, we were using methamphetamine that was, made differently than it's made today, right?
When we say back in the, are we talking late 80s, early 90s?
Yeah.
You know what's crazy? Is that it must have been in Georgia because it wasn't in other parts of back east. It was a lot of it was out here for sure.
Right.
And if you know the crank world, that's a lot different than what they call methamphetamines these days.
It sure is.
That was that biker dope.
That's it.
That's that jet fuel.
Yep.
You do a little, and you're going till
gone.
A few days.
Yeah, that red phosphorus. They make
the red phosphorus.
Yeah.
You're ready to take things apart that don't need to be taken apart.
That's right.
Yeah.
So fortunately, I had that experience when I was young.
Yeah.
So I always knew that I had another term of sobriety in me, and it was just a matter of when I was going to surrender to it.
Yeah.
And I'm out here in California going to see this young man tomorrow, but a young man showed up at my house that he's like my illegitimate son. I mean, he's not, but his dad died when he was young, and I've raised him, so to speak, in a lot of ways. He lives out here, and he showed up at my house out of the blue and was telling me he was hooked on pills and wanted to go to treatment. Would I go with him? So in the delusional state of drug addiction, I thought, well, that sounds like a really good idea. I don't have anything going on here. I might as well get in the car with him and get on a plane and go to Kansas City and get sober. And that's kind of how it happened for me, is that, in 24 hours after him showing up at my door, I was in treatment. And
in Kansas City?
In Kansas City. Yeah.
There's treatment in Kansas City?
There is. They can't decide if they're in Missouri or Kansas, but
of all places to go from being from Georgia.
And the young man knew somebody who owned a treatment facility there. And
is that what it was?
That's how it happened. So, and I have no explanation for that.
Was it good treatment?
It worked for me. So
was it back to basics? Was it?
It was. And
nothing bougie?
Nothing bougie. It was not bougie. So, and it was, and they had sobriety houses. So it was, 15 days in the detox portion of it, and then went right on into phase 2.
Was there therapy?
Well, that's what they called it. That's what they called it.
Was there a therapist?
You got to see him once a week. So,
Okay, what about
and I didn't,
groups?
Yeah, we did groups, and we went to outside meetings. And
Was it older people, younger people, all different types?
It was a mix. It was
Men,
a mix.
women?
Men and women, co-ed. Get to keep your phone the whole time, which was a bad deal. I turned mine in.
You were already serious when you...
I knew what was going on. Just
off the record, I want you to tell me later where the place is, because I didn't even know they have treatment out there.
That's
I
right.
tried to send someone in that area, and there was nothing.
Yeah.
There's like an outpatient I know of.
That's right. So I will off the record for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's still there, the place?
It is.
Oh, it's so cool.
It
So how
is.
long did you stay altogether?
45 days.
And then?
And I left AMA. So
Why?
Well, just because I'm smarter than them, I guess.
Of course, man.
Right.
You're one of the people, man. You're too smart for your own good.
But do not let me sit here and promote leaving AMA. However, it worked for me, all right, because I was done.
You had to get to some things to take care of?
I did.
Were you working?
No, I wasn't working.
You just needed to get out of there.
Just needed, it was time for me to go
But
home.
you stayed sober?
Oh, yes.
Ever since?
Ever since. So
how long ago was that? How many years?
Yeah, that's been 5 years.
Nice.
So, yeah. So
not nice that you AMA'd.
Well,
but
it worked for me.
Okay, yeah.
And I do not promote it in any way, but it's
I understand
that I'd had a spiritual awakening sufficient enough to recover from drugs and alcohol.
I know you. You know what? That's what I like about you. When I listen to you talk in our groups and things like that, I'm like, this guy's here to stay.
Yeah,
like this is a man of recovery right here.
It. Yeah, I'm fully engaged in all of that.
I could tell.
You're
involved in your recovery.
That's right. And it's easier to stay sober than get sober, and I know that.
It's absolutely right.
So, and I've experienced being addicted to opiates and being on Suboxone. And
you were on Suboxone too?
I could take a little bit of it because when I couldn't get the opiates, I could use it as my parachute. Never really got hooked on it, but I just take a little piece and just curb.
I didn't even know that about you. The opiates, was it pills?
Pills. Snorting them 30s, buddy.
You were? Snorting them? Oh, my God.
You know what's up.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. So then
I had a real experience with that, actually out in L.A. Got in a bad batch back when they started pressing them, and was getting on a plane and did a little bit before I got there, and almost OD'd on the plane. I mean, it was...
When they started pressing them?
Yeah.
You know what that means, Carlton?
I do know what that means.
It means you were doing fentanyl.
Oh, I know exactly. I used to do the fentanyl
I had
patch.
no idea about you, man.
No,
we sit there and talk about... We used to talk on our shit on the intervention on call, but never did I, like...
One of my favorite things was...
I thought you were an alcoholic that did some meth.
No, did it all, buddy.
Damn,
what I really liked was the patch.
Oh my God! Here we go. I know about the patch.
The patches, man.
That's how this all started years ago.
That's right.
It was patches and lollipops.
That's right. The patches.
The addicts were getting the patches and taking.
And then they chew on them.
Chew on them. They were ripping them open and intravenously shooting them.
Yeah, I was not a needle guy in any way. So probably why I didn't mess with what I considered heroin or any of that. But those patches, that was the weekend trip.
I'll bet, man.
And the acid and the X and the Molly and
all that.
All of it. So, but had a lot of experience in life in terms of, and I tell you, I could function, right? I didn't run it in the ditch. Like I was telling you, my things came in periods of time, like every 10 years I'd get in some legal trouble.
It was just that way?
Yeah. And it was just enough that I would spend the time, so I'd build it up, build my life up, burn it to the ground with some legal trouble, build it up, burn it down. And what I ultimately had to see was that the real problem was the drugs and alcohol. And if I'd get off of it, guess what? Didn't go back to jail, didn't have all these marital problems, was a good son, was a good parent. And that's my story. Right? That's my story, is that drugs and alcohol played a fundamental part of my life. And I wasn't able to keep it on track. It always played a part of blowing my life up. And until I got to that point of being willing to surrender to it, it was always going to happen.
And once you got to that point, you stayed with it.
Oh, I'm done.
Then I got a couple questions. Well, I got a bunch of questions for you. Actually, 2 questions. How'd you meet Sam Davis, who is the owner and founder of Intervention on Call? How'd you guys meet?
Absolutely. So, my wife caught him on TikTok and said, "You ought to reach out to this guy." I said, "Okay," and I did. And this was when he just had developed.
Why did she tell you you ought to reach out to him?
Just because I was back from treatment and had re-engaged my wife and did some amends and was getting some of all that straightened out. And she could hear me talking, and she knew. I mean, she's been with me 25 years.
Yes.
I mean, so it's something that, by the grace of God, but she had enough. She had set the boundary and moved out. The dogs even moved out of my house. I mean, it was a problem.
Everybody was over you.
Absolutely. Don't blame them.
Yeah.
Don't blame them. Today, I can see all that and see my side of it.
Yes.
But anyway, he had just started Intervention on Call platform. And he had also just started really getting on social media. And so I reached out to him. And he said, "Well, that's funny. We're going to have our first training seminar in St. Augustine. Why don't you come?" So I went, and I've been in it ever since, and it's been a godsend to me. Right, I build my practice a little different than some of us. You know, I build my practice through Intervention on Call, and it's how I developed it.
You've done a great job.
I do have a private business that we handle in-person interventions through.
Good,
but my primary purpose is through Intervention on Call and building that brand and trying to be a part of what's going on there, because I really believe like it's going to hit critical mass, because this type of service has not been in our industry.
No.
Right? And
it's so needed.
It is, right? To be able to be out there and provide hourly professional help to families all across
or in person,
right?
Yeah.
But to be able to be in front of families at the rate we're being in front of them now, and to be able to help the way that we are through our free Zooms and through hourly sessions, it's changing things. It's a game changer in my
major
view.
Game changer, and it's just going to grow, and because there's a lot of people out there suffering that don't even know about us or about this type of movement.
And Matt and Sam were the ones running the training, right? It was their first one there, so they didn't know what they were doing either.
So you've been to Augustine Recovery?
I have, and met Jason and toured the facility, and Jason's a crackerjack.
Good man.
He's a great guy, and Brooks and Adam and all those guys, I really like them, and we're lucky to be able to intersect with them, and
great people.
And they are.
There's something that always stood out about you to me, that I always like is, and it's all the interventions on Intervention on Call, is you have a deep respect for Sam.
Yeah.
As you should, but I always admired that. I was like, we're doing such good things, and he's such a good man. And today, to hear how it all happened, because I was like, how do they even meet? Did Sam intervene on him or something?
Right.
But to think that it happened through your wife seeing him on TikTok and telling you to reach out to him.
And I'll tell you, Pej, now it's that deep understanding of who Sam and Matt and yourself, the three of you. I mean, y'all are the ones in our platform that really are the ones that are bringing us all along. And
I think it's all of us.
Well, I do too. I think it takes collective wisdom. What I mean by that is that y'all have this long-term sobriety, that you have engaged socially, and you're changing the way that we're bringing our message. And that,
I appreciate.
Believe me when I tell you that I'm capable of, just like all of us are, and everybody's bringing to the table some real character.
I appreciate you saying that.
But
You know how dogs like to smell each other out?
Yeah.
Earlier today when Brian was asking about how did me and Sam even come together, it's the spirit of the universe, obviously.
It is.
But we sniffed each other out. Like, I already liked him because he was under the gun from some stupid organization and certain people that wanted to like put him under the microscope and character assassinate him. But I recognized his heart right away, and I didn't know that those guys did the trainings until later. But I did like their Party Wreckers podcast, which they brought me on. And then when I started to talk to him a little bit more, the sniffing out part was he talked to me where I thought, okay, they don't probably trust just any interventionists or people that claim to be interventionists, because there's a lot of people out there that call themselves interventionists. But are they really intervening properly? I know people that are interventionists that are loaded.
Right.
When I say loaded, I don't mean loaded with money. I mean loaded on drugs.
Sure they
right?
are.
So he said we don't really work alongside a lot of interventionists. And I thought, well, it's probably because maybe they won't trust me or they don't know who I am yet. But when I got jumped into the gang,
yeah,
I didn't know what I was in for. This is next level. Like, we are doing some remarkable work with families and helping so many. And you know what else I like? You're a committed, devoted member that comes often, if not always. And we can always rely on you to help navigate the groups. You're well-spoken. And I also like those regulars that come on there. They're like part of our family. The avid followers that I don't even know what's going on in some of their families, but they come because I think that you, me, Brian, Sam, we give them a sense of comfort in whatever they're dealing with. I'm sure some of their loved ones have gotten better, and some probably are lost in the fields. You know what I mean? Still getting loaded, but they still come, and you're a good man.
Well, I appreciate that, and thank you. As we just heard, that it's hard for me sometimes to accept those type of compliments, but I need
take my compliments.
I need to be better at it and say
take
thank you.
My compliments because
we're all different.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways, and it is easy to get caught up in the differences, but we say it a lot in the rooms. And I'm a fellowship guy, right? I'm a 12-step, big book person.
Yes, you are,
and
I love that about you.
And
you should be.
I'm a believer.
Yeah.
And I believe that fundamentally, in the top three things that's happened in my 59 years of life, working the steps is in one of the top three. Procreation is probably first, but it is something that changed the fundamental outlook of my whole life, because to think, you just don't get in a position to, I was however old, and someone said, you need to take a searching and fearless moral inventory. Okay, so what? All right, now I've done a lot of inventory, been in big business my whole life.
Yeah.
I understand what an inventory is, but this searching and fearless moral inventory. Yeah. So I am.
So you can actually relate to Bill Wilson a little more better than some of us.
Oh, absolutely.
He really put it together well.
He did.
If you really think about it, I'll go on a tangent right now, but I'm going to tell you this right now. I'm a history buff.
Yeah, me too.
And when I got sober, I really studied the hell out of why does a 12-step process work? Where does it originate? Who are these two guys? Why them? How? Why? And if you really think about it, Bill was 3 years sober.
Yeah.
When he wrote that book.
And the sponsor came out of the Oxford group, which was Ebby.
Ebby.
Stayed drunk.
Ebby 12-stepped him.
Stayed drunk and got sober. He
didn't even stay sober.
That's right.
But he did die with 2.5 years of sobriety.
He did.
To my knowledge.
And Bill always tried to give him credit. The story's fascinating, right?
You want me to tell you something cool? You want to hear something really cool?
Of course I do.
My friend Boo Boo Garcia, who I've actually had on here before, I'm going to bring him back, didn't know how to read English. He learned how to read English through the Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous. Johnny Harris was his sponsor. He's no longer with us, so I can say his name. I would have said his name anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, Boo Boo went to Dr. Bob's house in Akron, Ohio, because he was a carpenter and he got the honor and privilege of being able to fix up the house and everything. So we got to go all over. We went to the hospital. Sister Ignatia was at all that stuff. There's a meeting in Akron, Ohio at King's Church that was Dr. Bob's meeting.
Yep.
And when you walk in there, there's a portrait that they still to this day put up of Dr. Bob. And sitting on the table is Ebby's Bible.
Right.
There's so much history. And to think this program is 90 years old.
It is.
Saving people all across the country and across the world, man.
And you know what? The spiritual component that Dr. Young taught us about,
yes.
right? How powerful is that? I mean, when you think about all the synthetic knowledge that the doctors have. And they're sitting there with their hands in there saying,
they couldn't help us.
We don't know what to do with these crazies, right? They will not stop using.
And then here comes Bill with his third time coming to the same hospital. This time it's stuck.
So
you know when Bill was taking a message in there, that's the original panels.
That's it.
That's a panel.
It is.
That's an AA panel.
It is. It is. So I'm thrilled to be involved with Intervention on Call.
I love it.
And it's something that, if with 40 million people out there struggling with addiction, and let's just say they all got at least one or two people that love them, that leaves us in a position of the onus is on us to take our message on a grander scale. And I'm not completely sure, other than the way that we're doing it, how to do that.
Yes.
But, we were talking about the history. As you recall in our fellowship that we that Saturday Evening Post article really changed the trajectory of that fellowship. And all of a sudden they hit what they called critical mass at that point. And I believe Intervention on Call is in line to really do something like that.
Yeah.
And the things that you and Matt and Sam do in terms of being our mentors. No. Because look,
I never thought people would talk about me like that because I'm the one that's always had the mentors.
Well,
but that's the way this thing works.
But
God places people in our life to learn from. We all need to have guidance.
And the smart man can learn from both sides.
That's right.
So if I can't have a mentor and I can't bring something to the table like the other people that are involved in our platform do, and you mentioned Daryl. Gosh, man, having his experience
I love hearing
on a different level than the rest of us.
Yes.
We all come from that recovery, and he's coming from the side
a father's perspective.
I had the opportunity to spend some time with Daryl in Texas not too long ago.
You did?
And Sam and Daryl and I hunted together. And
did?
We did. And I tell you, it's like this opportunity to spend one-on-one time with
hang out on a more personal cellular level.
Yeah. It's amazing.
I would like to hang out with Daryl too. Daryl's another, for those that don't know, one of the providers out of the 9. There's 9 of us. He's the only one that's not an addict, alcoholic in recovery, but lost his son.
Yep.
And he's a great provider. I have a few questions for you. One is, how did addiction change the way you showed up for your family?
It gave me the gift of being able to show back up. I've always been in this family, close-knit family, as I described, that we operate a business together, we function together, and I would come and go because addiction had me at times. And at the end, really had created some isolation from them. So today I can be a good father and a good son and really be back in the role of what I should be for my family. I lost my dad young. He was in politics. 3 million people loved him. But and in some ways, that was something that I had to deal with on my 4th step. But today, I'm able to be there for my mom. As I have a really close relationship with my mom and always have. She's been this person in my life that has been there.
I love it.
And certainly has those roles today. So
Ain't nothing like our mamas.
That's right. And my kids, so it's given me the ability to show back up and be who I was born to be. And addiction took that from me.
As an interventionist, why do families struggle so much with setting boundaries?
You know, Paj, because they think fear. Fear is what I would say. They struggle mostly because of fear and guilt. They think they caused it. They're fearful that if they set boundaries that it will create more distance. And what they don't know is it's the true path to helping their loved one correctly. And it is so critical to start putting this disease on call. And when they start doing it, when I see families today because I'll start them with something small. You know, let's get a victory and watch this work, because they're so fearful that he won't talk to me again. He'll be on the street. She'll be this. There's more excuses we hear that you can shake a stick at, right? So if I had to use one word, it'd be fear. Why they don't.
Absolutely. How did your background in finance prepare you for intervention work?
Working with families in high pressure, intense situations, because you wouldn't know it, but I mean, to sit down and talk to a family about their finances means to talk about death, it means to talk about disability, it means to talk about a lot of things, because a financial plan, you know, can be disrupted in all kind of ways. So, you know, to do a good job in that area, you know, it's not just about managing their money. It's about really taking care of what it's going to look like if all hell breaks loose. And those are intense, difficult conversations. So being able to spend 28 years doing that has given me the ability to sit in someone's room, sit on Zoom, and ask the tough questions and say the tough things. And you know, in my first training, Matt Brown had me in the side room where we did practice and intervention. And one of the things he told me is that you don't have to overword this business. You don't have to put the word salad to it. You know, say it direct.
Yeah.
And that really stuck with me. You never know, just like in the rooms, you never know what you're going to say might really affect somebody.
Yeah.
And that really affected me. And so one of the techniques that I try to use is just to be really blunt. And you always kind of laugh at me when I say, oh, I'm going to say this kind of practically and straightforward. Well, but I
actually love when you do that.
It's my niche in all this. I don't have to.
I don't like to sugarcoat.
You know, shit or get off the pot.
I mean, come on,
we're dealing with someone's life.
Absolutely. Let's not dress this up to be something that it's not.
I don't know. And I told Matt Brown first time that story today that I've ever even said it to anybody, and now I'm here saying it to you in public. But it really affected me, and that happens in the rooms all the time. You know, those rooms create an atmosphere where these are people that you would never know that you'd know. How the hell would we ever know each other, Paj? And look at us sitting here today, you know, knowing each other a lot better than this is our first face-to-face.
Right.
Right? We know each other way better than all that, because we spend hours a week together each week.
Yeah, I love it. Why do small steps matter more than dramatic ultimatums?
Great question. I believe that the small steps matter because families need small victories. They need to begin to see that a completely change in thought process and the way we're going to deal with this not instinctual, right? It is instinctual for families to save and rescue and be the safety net for their loved ones that's struggling with what we call a disease.
Yeah.
And really that transformation isn't going to happen overnight. And getting some small successes of seeing something small work gives them the ability to start getting courageous and start saying, well, okay. Because ultimately what we're going to do is set some really difficult boundaries, but what we're really doing is giving that addicted loved one a choice. We're not telling them what to do.
Right.
And when you start telling families, look, we're not in the business of saying you need to do this or you got to do this or you're a drug addict, you're an alcoholic. I try to steer away from those things. I try to tell families that, look, we're going to present a choice and we're going to tell them what we're going to do.
Yeah.
You get to do what you want to do. You're an adult and we're going to start treating you like an adult.
Yep.
All right. And you get to choose what you want to do. What we will do is help you with this solution that we've created. It's not really negotiable. And if you don't choose that gift, because I believe treatment's a gift. They wrote that book
Yeah.
designed to get people sober that did not have treatment.
Mm-hmm.
And can you get sober by just using that book that we love? Yeah. People did.
Yep.
So today, getting to go to treatment and do a deep dive is a gift.
Absolutely. What's the biggest misconception families have about helping a loved one?
The power of their communication. That they don't believe. By the time we get to them, or by the time I get to them, I should say, it seems like they've lost the ability and the knowledge of knowing what they have to say, that they have a say in the matter. And, I really believe one of the places that I see the light kind of changing in that process is when family members start kind of in the middle of the conversation that we would have with an addicted loved one. Comes this time where you start telling your loved one what you remember them being like.
Yeah.
And that's kind of in the middle. I love you, and down here, here's the options, and here's the choice you get to make. But in the middle, you get to describe this piece of, I remember when you were this way, and maybe give 2 or 3 little instances of that. And when an addicted person, including myself, hears my mom saying that to me, it kind of transforms.
Little wake-up calls.
It is. That
It's like they're planting seeds through reminders. Mm-hmm. It's actually a form of empowerment.
It is. It is. I like that.
Yeah, because they're like, you got to hear that stuff sometimes.
You do. And that you can recognize, regardless of where you are in your addiction, you can recognize that you're not that way now and you used to be this way.
I love it.
Yeah.
Last question. How did recovery reveal your sense of purpose?
That's a stumper, right? It changed my sense of purpose, right? I had been, in a lot of ways, had my priority list incorrect. And what I found today is that, for me, it's God. If I have my priority list, if I got money at the top of my priority list,
I'm glad you mentioned that.
which I spent a lot of time.
Yeah.
Because, in the financial world, I'm not going to sit here and go through all that.
No, when you're in high finance, it's about stacking dough.
Stacking, right?
Stacking
And
chips, stacking cash. Same with Bill. When you read it in the first 16 pages.
Yeah.
The first 8 pages is just ego.
Yeah.
How much can I make? I'm not going to be like these people that are jumping from the buildings because they lost money. I'm going to go pound some alcohol.
That's right.
Right?
And get back to it.
He was drinking, and he was drinking in celebratory instances, or even when he was down.
Yeah, and it's really helped to further expand that question. It's really helped me understand that I got to keep my priorities right.
That's right. Your heart's in this, man.
That's it.
You talked about it earlier. The people that you sponsor, man. When you're thinking about other people, you're thinking about yourself less.
That's it. And I believe anything you put in front of your recovery's got an expiration date on it.
I love that.
Right?
It's
it just
true.
does. It
You're
does.
right.
And so that puts my spiritual life at the forefront. And when I stay there, and it's always been for me, I've been able to, in my career, be able to help people for a living. Mm-hmm. So that fundamentally tied me to this business. But to meet people where they're at in desperation, and to be able to be a person that can help facilitate, because I really believe that a lot of this stuff, it's not me saying. I'm just the tool that God's using to reach a family or reach someone, one of my sponsees. I tell my sponsees all the time, I'm not doing anything for you. I'm just a facilitator of what God's trying to move inside of you.
It's interesting. I've been sober 18 plus years. I'll be 19 in June, and sometimes I'll be in a meeting and something just comes out of my mouth, and I'll think afterwards, like, where'd that come from?
Yeah.
And it's nothing original.
That's right.
This all the stuff that I have learned over the years that I now have crafted a style of being able to deliver it through my mouth as it was delivered to me. Nothing original. Same with the houses and everything that I own. I'll run these groups and I'll sit there and I'll talk to these people. Nothing I'm saying is from me.
Right.
It's from my predecessors, the people that came before me, the people that demonstrated through their actions what real true altruism was. I mean, that's what are we doing here, right? If we're going to make anything more important than what our spirit has been taught and what we're trying to put out into the universe through our spirit, we're absolutely wasting our time here.
And we're bringing an authentic message. I mean,
we are, man.
We are. And
listen, I'm a people person these days. I like looking at people. I study people. I look, even on intervention on call, when I'm looking, there are certain, I'm not going to say their names, there's certain people when I come on there, I look at them and I could see that they're engaged because I think to myself, would I get tired, if I was like in their shoes, which I actually am in their shoes because I have a sibling that's not well, but they're getting well. Would I want to come and hear this stuff every single day? Because they're pretty much saying the same stuff over and over, but they do like it because they're enjoying a different perspective than what maybe perhaps their head's saying to them, their therapist is saying to them, maybe even their Al-Anon sponsor is saying to them. They're hearing it from the horse's mouth.
They are.
Former addicts and alcoholics that now live differently and take responsibility for themselves and are here to try to help people for the better good.
And there's no bigger value than just like the reason why that fellowship we like has worked. Right?
Yeah.
There's no bigger value than one alcoholic talking to another or someone in that position talking to someone in that position, right? It's just
nothing like
nothing. And it works. Don't know why.
Well, this has been fun. This has been great having you on here. Like I told you, if I come out to Augusta, Georgia, I want to come kick it with you and hang out in your recovery community. And who knows, maybe we'll go hunting or something.
Yeah, that's right. Well, I tell you what, if you come to Augusta, come in April.
It's the time to come?
I'll take you over to that little golf tournament we have over there. It's something. It's a worthy experience to come do.
I'd love to. Thank you for coming on here today.
Thanks for having me.
And thanks for being my teammate.
Absolutely.
So much love for you, Carlton.
Yeah. Likewise, Paige. Thanks.
Well, that was a great conversation. I learned so much about my colleague. I work with this gentleman all the time on Intervention on Call, which I should mention that we are part of a collective group of interventionists and family recovery coaches called Intervention on Call. And we're together all the time online, but today having him here in the studio, he came all the way out here to California just to be on this show. Just kidding. We're working out here doing some stuff. But I learned stuff about him I never even knew. This whole time I thought he was just a hunting type of guy, but the guy was for finance. Wow, amazing. Good to learn about him, and I've always identified a lot with his alcoholism and with his addiction. It reminds me a lot of myself. I didn't realize that he got sober that young and came back, but such a good man, such a good person to have in my life, both as a colleague and as a friend. One of my heroes. I'll always say that because I just love him so much. If you like this episode, please subscribe. We are on all platforms for any type of podcast and also on YouTube. We want to hear from you on YouTube. Please subscribe there too. Write in the comment section, share it, like it. And until we meet again, we will have another guest next week. Primary Purpose with Paige.